So hi guys, in this video, we will be solving how to find out the maximum subarray sum. Before solving the problem, first we have to understand what a subarray is. A subarray is a contiguous portion of an array, a continuous sequence of an array in which the elements has to be continuous. For example, -1, 2, 1 is a subarray, or -1, 2 is a subarray, or 2 is a subarray. Why? Because they're continuous. But -1 and 1 is not a subarray. Why? Because they are continuous. There was a gap. So now since you understand what a subarray is, now how to solve this problem? How to find out what is the maximum sum? Now one way you may think is to okay, we have to find maximum subarray sum, right? So first find out all the subarrays, then find their sum, and eventually find out what is maximum and return. And yes, we can do that. But is it efficient? No. Can we do better? Yes. So, and this is where we can use an algorithm called as Kadane's algorithm, which helps us to solve this. Now, what is Kadane's algorithm? It's simple. What it says is remove the negativity, add positivity. Now, what I mean by that, I'll explain you. So, this is the array we have, and we will be having a variable which will store the sum, and another variable which will store the maximum sum. And first step is to find the sum by adding an element. For example, we have a pointer pointing to I, and this pointer will move to all the elements and find the sum. So first step is to find the sum. So first the pointer is pointing to the first element. So add this element to our sum. Now if I add -2 to the 0, the result will be -2. -2. Okay, first step is done. Now next step is to check that is this sum maximum then a maximum value? Yes, in this case, yes. So then this will be updated to -2. So now since I changed the value, and the third step is to again check that is the sum, is it negative? Yes, it is negative. If it is negative, make it to 0. Now why to make it to 0? Because if the sum value is negative, then for the next iteration, if we add any element, it won't get maximum. It will be minimum, right? It will just decrease the value, not add the value. That's why if it is negative, we just remove it to get the maximum sum. So now first iteration is done. Now just move on to the next element. Now the I will be 1 pointing to value 1. Now again, first step, repeat these three steps. First add this value. Now if I add it, this will become 1. And the next step, check that is the sum value maximum than the maximum value. Yes, it is. If yes, then update. And again check that is sum value negative. No, it's not. Then move on to next element. So now we will iterate to the next element, which is -3. Now we again add this to a sum, which will become -2. -3 plus 1 will be -2. And next step is to check is the sum value greater than maximum? No, it's not. Then again, third step, is it negative? Yes, it is. So make it as 0. And again, move on to the next element. Now, the value of I will be 0, 1, 2, 3, and value is 4. Now add this value to our sum. 0 plus 4 will be 4. Then next step is check is sum greater than maximum? Yes, it is. If yes, then simply update. And last step, check is it negative? No, it's not. If not, move on to next element. Now we are pointing the I will be 4 and pointing to -1. So we add this number to a sum. This will become 1 minus 1, which will be 3. And but now 3 is not greater than maximum value and it is not negative. So we just move on to next element. Now we again add this 2 to our value. This will be 5. This will become 5. And is 5 greater than 4? Yes, it is. So now we update our maximum to 5. And since it is not negative, so we move on to next element. And we again add this 1 to our sum. And this will become 6. And is 6 greater than maximum? Yes, it is. So update our maximum. And it is since it's not negative, move on to next element. And again add this. I'll change the I value. And again add this minus 5 to our sum. If I add it, this will become 1. The 6 minus 5 will be 1. Now, is some maximum than the maximum value? No, it's not. And is it negative? No, it's not. Just move on to next element, right? And now we are pointing to the last element with index value of 7. And we just add this 4 to our sum. This will become 5. And 5 is not maximum than 6. And 5 is not negative. So simply we move to next element. And since there is no next element, we come out of the for loop. And at this point, we have a variable which stores the maximum sum as 6. And now since you got it, just return it. And this is how we solve this problem. Now I'll show you the coding part. This is the problem we have. And first we have to find out the size of an array or length of an array. So I'll just write size. Then we have to take two variables, which is int some value, which will be initially 0, and int we max value, which will be initially int min. Then we will iterate the other using for loop. I will be ranging from 0 to n, I plus plus, and we first add some value to a current element, which is nums of I, and then we check is this sum, or simply we will check max value should be maximum between max value and some value. And again, we check that is some value negative. If yes, then some value should be 0. And after this iteration, we will be having a maximum value stored in our max val. Simply return it. And this is the code. And I hope it runs. So I'll submit my code. It is taking some time. And yes, did work. So this is how we solve this problem. And uh, and the algorithm I used to solve this was Cadence algorithm. So I hope you understand. Thank you.